Alright guys, so today we're going to address a small problem with one of my filming locations. And by small, I mean probably one of the hardest and largest problems that anyone filming videos can tackle, and that is my sound. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use a very large cart of packing blankets that's just off screen here. We're going to take these and we're going to address some of these sound issues. Now this is not a perfect scenario for the use of these, but it's what I have, it's what's available, and they're pretty cheap. We are in a fairly large space. Like most people, with everything recently kind of moving to the home, everyone being here, and a lot of stuff going on, I set up shop in kind of the most obvious place for me, the place where I do my projects, and where I have ease of access and things, my garage. The problem with this is I've got a concrete floor, I've got 4 parallel walls and a ceiling, and while it's a pretty tall ceiling, it's parallel with the concrete floor. It's awful. So right across from me, I've got a gigantic door, and I've got the house over to one side. I've got exterior noises, trucks and things going by, and this creates a big problem depending on when I film my videos. So I kind of have to relegate myself to filming at night or early mornings and things, and trying also with my projects to not disturb people that are doing things in the house or have things they're doing not disturb me. So the issue with a lot of this is that I still need this to be a functional space. I still need to be able to do woodworking projects or, animatronic projects and things, and park cars. Like this is still a fully functioning space despite all of my stuff and my workbench being in it. It's gotta be versatile. So we're going to address the first reflection point of the big door and also take care of some of the light coming through it to be able to better control our lighting in here. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to actually divide the space by providing another wall of the packing blankets to take care of another reflection point. So there's not too much I can do about the ceiling in here, and there's really not much I can do about the floor, but I can at least address certain reflection points for where my voice is going to project to first. So I'm actually using a Rode NTG video mic for this instead of a standard like lavalier mic, so you get a better sense of the sound of the space. So this is going to pick up more reverberations from the space, more room noise, as well as, while being good at rejection, it's still going to pick up a lot of the outside noise too. So we're actually going to start by putting up a steel cable. So the same as I would do in one of my other videos about cafe lighting, we're going to have 2 points kind of down the center of the space with eye bolts, and we're going to suspend a steel cable between these 2 points. So these will be the only 2 points that are actually attached to structure. So if I ever want to remove it, it's a small, like 3/8 or so hole, and it's into a stud, but I can easily remove these eye bolts and spackle over and touch up the paint, and you would never know it was there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this steel cable up, and then we're going to take the packing blankets that we have, and we are going to put some kind of grommets in the top. I got a grommet kit for this to be able to put one about every foot in the packing blankets, And then I got some carabiners so that we can hook these to the steel cable. So they will be back off to one side of the space. And then when I want to use this for filming or just isolate sound from the other half, because I actually have a fridge and fans and all sorts of things going on over here, and it would like to dampen that as much as possible. So we're actually going to be able to pull these kind of like a big curtain across the space to create this kind of fabric, heavier duty wall. So in addition to the packing blankets over the top of the door to limit the lighting and control a little bit of exterior sound better and kill my first reflection point, we're going to be putting up this movable partition on this steel cable to try and help with things off to that side. So one of the big things that this is going to do is when you put a packing blanket or something like that up against a wall, you are getting pretty much just the dampening of the packing blanket material itself. So you are getting how well it absorbs mostly these high frequencies. Low frequencies are just going to go right through it. And since it's up against the wall, it's going to go through it and it's going to hit that surface and pretty much come back immediately. You're not going to kill a lot of these reflections. Now, when you suspend something and you suspend it away from a space, depending on the distance to the other wall on the other side, your distance to your wall on the side you're working on, and the weight of the blankets, you're going to get more dampening of certain frequencies. So the first thing it's going to do is, since the blankets are suspended and not directly up against a surface, they are free to swing and to move. So this is going to absorb some different energy than if you were to have it flat up against a surface. The other thing this is going to do is it is going to allow certain reflections to go through the blanket, hit the opposite wall, travel back, and go through the blanket again. And depending on where you've put this is going to depend on essentially what waves and how fast they go through it compared to the other ones. It's going to be your distance back from the other walls. So I'm hoping that by putting this slightly off center, so that I have a little bit more space over here but still have a functional side over there, and by suspending this, not only can I move it out of the way when I need to, but the hope is that it acts a little bit better as an acoustic blanket. Now, we shouldn't confuse acoustic blankets with packing blankets. Acoustic blankets are far, far heavier, and so that's going to create a little bit of an issue for us because they are meant to deaden sound. The big thing here is we're just trying to kill some of this like slapback kind of echo, some of these first reflection points that just really make it sound like I'm in a big open space. Specifically, it sounds like I'm in a garage in the same way as if I were to be filming in a bathroom, it'd sound like I was in a bathroom. There's just certain things that the human ear kind of just knows from experience what that sound generally is. So our goal here is going to be to hit those 2 points because those are going to be the easiest for us to get, and create a little room for ourselves to be able to film in against this nice backdrop here. So what we're going to be doing is getting our cable up, getting our grommets put in to the blankets, and getting all of the carabiners and everything up, getting our first reflection point on the door done, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a test to show the before and after audio. So this is completely untreated now. There's nothing on the wall opposite me. I don't have any of the stuff up. The only thing I've done so far is to put the eye bolts in the wall in a stud. If you're going to do this, make sure it's a stud. These get heavy, especially as you pull them out. So we're going to try it. I mean, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm really hopeful, and I've got all the materials pretty much already here from a move. So let's get to it. Well, that didn't quite work out as planned. Uh, should have probably paid more attention to where I put the grommets. We ended up with some on the side, some on the top. So we ended up with different lengths of blankets as they go out. And obviously, the ones on the door are all way too short to actually cover the entire door. Which means, as far as acoustics go, it's really not going to do much as far as blocking any kind of sound. But as far as low frequencies are concerned, it's not going to do much anyway. We really wanted the top portion of the garage door where windows, things like that, any light's going to come in, to enable us to have better light control. And then the level at which my microphone is and the level at which I am speaking, we want that covered as a first reflection point. So what you're hearing now is with the space completely separated, the blankets over to one side and the blankets on the door. So any improvement that you're hearing, to my ears, it seems to be toned down significantly. I'm not getting that immediate large space like slap in the face of sound back at me. I don't know how the mic can pick it up. I don't know how well that works, but to me, it is at least enough better to warrant pulling them across when I go to work on something. And if I find that it is a big enough improvement over time, then maybe I'll get some heavier blankets or just kind of redo it to see if I can get some that are longer that go all the way to the floor, something like that, and then some other acoustic treatments. But for having something laying around in some storage bins, I think it's a definite improvement to my space and allows me to work a little bit better and a little bit more efficiently, as opposed to hanging these up every time. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.